Alright, hey there, welcome to another episode. Actually I've had a little bit of a hiatus. It's mostly due to my being extremely busy. I've been working really hard on Project Houdini, like the DJing project. And I've gotten a bit, well, not actually a bit, I've gotten a lot into photo and video editing, and I've decided that it would be more feasible to just it would make sense to just get a little bit more practical instead of just documenting everything. And whilst I want to continue, of course, documenting it, I think I've got much more to gain from actually doing things, to put it in a rough manner. Well, anyway, this week I'm gonna actually give you the overview of Bytes the last 2 weeks, and I'm just gonna jump straight into it and comment as I deem necessary. Alright, we're in Obsidian, and this is week 15. As you can see, a lot of red. If you do recall, I've decided to spice it up a bit and just collocate it. Like one time I've stood up at like 5:45 a.m. This was due to my visiting a relative. FYI, sometimes I'm visiting a relative and I'm taking a little bit care of him. But like sporadically, like 2 or 3 weeks, or like once a month, something along those lines, depending on what else I've got to do. Other than that, it's I was like really in the red zone there as well. Nothing much to say about that. Regarding, okay, I actually didn't fill this out. Regarding the diet, it was not that great during week 15. It changed a bit, but other than that, I was like really snacking on a lot of junk food, so to say. And as you can see, on Monday I spent another break at McDonald's, so really need to kind of like prep some meals for my work. Because like I've usually got like 4-hour shifts and like 1.5 hour of pause, and then another 4 hours, or like 3 and 5. And during these pauses, I usually tended to like cycle back home, but I've decided, like the last few times, I've decided not to do so because it's just taking up too much time, and it doesn't really make that much sense. And so I've had a few breaks where I've just like waited outside, or rather where I've frequented like McDonald's, I think 2 or 3 times. So that's a little bit of a bummer, because it's like I haven't been to McDonald's in years, and there's a good reason for that. The reason being, of course, that it's junk food, and it's not something that I really want to indulge in. Like, apart from the horrendous pricing right now, I still remember like Big Macs only costing like €2, and now it's like 5 or something like that. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, so this was week 15. Then moving on to week 16. I've been really in the red zone there as well. Now, I've got to note something there. During the last few weeks, more specifically during the last week, I've been working like really long into the night. Like, I've spent most of the time during my day being busy in terms of actual like work, which brings in the bread, but also in terms of editing stuff and really figuring out a lot of other things related to social media and content creation in general. My schedule right now is kind of messed up, because it's like it's not that uncommon for me to just stay up until like 3 a.m. and simply embrace the grind set. Yeah, but over the, let's say, like over the long run, it's not that good of a compromise right now. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get back into a healthier schedule. But as long as it works out, and yeah, I don't want to look for any rationalizations. It's not really good. Anyway, this is like has been my the last week in terms of actually staying up, standing up, and yeah, as you can see, the dieting aspect has been a lot better. Like I really got myself together and pulled myself together, and yeah, started being way more conscious about dieting, and started resisting more of my urges to just suddenly go out and buy lots of sweets and stuff like that. So yeah, that's great. Now, in regards to the other categories that I haven't been mentioning thus far in this video, I haven't done any physical exercises apart from cycling. And yeah, that's work, and I didn't really count it up as exercises per se. I also haven't done stretching in the last 2 weeks. It's like I'm so immersed in what, like with all the obligations that I'm doing, and I simply didn't want to make time for that. It's not that important right now, but in the back of my mind, it's really important. But I'm just heavily procrastinating on it, and yeah, that's a little bit about that. Well, anyway, yeah, as you can see, I've also written down a little bit about general reflection. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about how the past 2 weeks have been going. In terms of university, quite fine. Actually, I've gotten back an exam. It was like 6 ECTS, and that's like a workload of, well, at least according to calculation, but it's highly inaccurate. It's a workload of about 125 hours. I studied for this exam, I think about 15 or 20 hours, and I've got a C. So yeah, that's I'm content with that. Albeit, I've still got these tendencies of my perfectionism kicking in, and my being a little bit partial with myself in terms of not achieving certain ideals. But it's getting a lot better. Yeah, regarding what I've written down there, I had a little bit of anxiety in terms of like a presentation that I had held last week. Overall, it went good. The professor was quite content with it, but still, it was not that great to my liking. Like I've gotten really nervous whilst presenting, and at first I was really calm, and I think I was immersed, and I could actually draw in the people. But then, like, I've had a hiccup, so to say. I've just kind of lost the red thread, and yeah, almost got myself in a mess. But yeah, I still managed to do it, and it was alright, but it still annoys me a little bit to this day, because even though it's like I mean, it's only been a week, and it's not that as if I'm constantly ruminating on it, but I know that I can do a lot better, and not only in terms of presenting things, also in terms of creating, for example, a PowerPoint presentation. And in my opinion, the PowerPoint presentation that I've created with my partner wasn't that great. Yeah, there was lots of things to kind of improve on. It was really minimalistic, to put it mildly. Yeah, of course, the referencing that I'm basing my standards on. The references are like the other presentations, and I could see that like the other people put a lot of work into it, like when they were presenting, like it was basically a presentation about certain psychological topics from the perspective of organizational and working psychology, and the other people were like showing these studies with like with certain colors, and like when they clicked on it, they just highlighted like positive effect sizes, negative effect sizes, stuff like that. Like it was really, really detailed, and was really, really good, really professional. And so of course I've got this in the back of my mind when I'm presenting, like with a less than stellar PowerPoint presentation which didn't have these feats. Anyway, what's important is that I got it over with, and yeah, I hope to. Well, I'll see how the next presentation goes, because this is a seminar and we've got at least one more presentation coming up, and also like a little bit of an examination of a scientific paper. But yeah, I don't wanna. I really, really don't wanna be stuck in my head, like, thinking all the time like what I could have improved upon and whatnot. I just wanna deliver something that I'm proud of, whilst not spending a lot of time on it, like being as efficient as possible, but also being professional about it, and focusing on the important things. And of course, university is really, really important for me, but there's many more things in my life that need to be taken care of than university. And right now, like the grades that I'm getting are mostly like B's and C's, and it's fine. And of course, like in my humble estimation, people aren't gonna care that much about it as long as I'm like a competent person and they know my stuff. But still, for me, it's like, yeah, there's always something to improve on, and it could be better. And yeah, sometimes it's just like extremely perfectionism, like kicking in, but for a good reason. Because I know in the back of my head that I'm neglecting things, that if I were to approach them in a different way, like everything would be so much easier. Anyway, just a little rant about that. Now, let's move on to Rice, and just give you a short overview about the time spent during my past 2 weeks. This is Rice, and we are in week 15. As you can see, I've hustled a lot, like I've worked for 40 hours. Of course, this is only time spent in front of my PC. This does not include other things such as, for example, filming. This does not include other things such as my actual job, apart from university, which is also 20 hours a week. Yeah, so I've basically had like a 60 to 70 hour work week. Yeah. If we look at the categories, you can see that image editing is like the front. Yeah, I've edited many images. I've taken many shots for the other project, Houdini, and I've spent a lot of time like getting used to the program. FYI, I'm using Affinity Photo T, and yeah, it's been really, really great. I definitely noticed that it's a lot easier for me to just in general like be more focused on things, and like it feels really, really like it's starting to feel really, really easy to kind of get into things. Like it's not as if I've had some struggles beforehand, like that were that great in terms of acquiring new skills. But I'm somebody who's like easily distracted. I oftentimes react intensely to certain stimuli, and I sometimes get really, really overwhelmed with things. And I've noticed that there's also like a distortion in attention. For example, I'm extremely creative, but whenever I try to focus on some things, then I've just got these associations in my mind, and oftentimes I've got the feeling that it's not that simple for me to just follow one straight linear path, and to just kind of decide to just kind of often let's put it that way. It's not that simple for me to just decide which path would be the most constructive for what I'm doing, for what I plan on doing, because there's all these alternatives, and all of these things could potentially be really, really good. So yeah, I'm still differentiating a lot, and whilst I'm still honing that creativity by sometimes imagining many things and just thinking about the future and what outcome would be the most likely if I were to do that and that, I'm a lot more grounded, and I'm a lot more immersed in what I'm doing in terms of actually producing results and in terms of actually getting the work done. But yeah, that's a little bit of a rant there as well. Let's just go back to rice. Yeah, as you can see, quite a productive week. And FYI, I'm really certain, like I'm 100% positive that not everything that I've done has been recorded there, because there have been some days where I actually forgot to turn on the tracking of rice, and I've already spent like hours doing something, and yeah, it's a bit of a shame. And I was but then I thought, like, yeah, I just mentioned it. I'm not gonna edit everything and just edit the lost hours. It's not. I'm certain it's not that many, but probably around 5. Probably, like, that's just a really, really rough estimation. But just to give you an idea of what's going on. Anyway, following next week, yeah. 47 hours, and you can be damn sure that I've also lost a lot of I've also not included many hours for reasons that I've already mentioned. Like, I want to get more practical, and I don't want to sit there and like edit everything in Rise, and yeah. But anyway, regardless of that, I really will pay a lot more attention to that and make sure to kind of put the tracking on, and not just like notice 3 hours into working, oh, I haven't turned on the tracking in Rice, because I really, really want to document everything, and or at least the most important things, and just to get a general idea of what what amount of work has been put in to get to where I'm. Well, who knows where I'll be in 5 years. But anyway, 47 hours, plus 20 hours of work, plus university, plus socialization, plus cooking food, plus showering, all these things. And yeah, it's been really, really good. I actually fucking like it. Yeah, I really fucking like it. Anyway, this concludes the short overview. I'm just gonna go into a little bit more detail into the like categories there. Video editing, yeah, I spent about 18 hours there. Spent a lot of researching, looking up YouTube videos, looking for different good sources, documenting. I think this mostly refers to my being in Obsidian, respectively having open a PDF that's related to university. Utility, well, that's a good question. Let's just see what's there. Explorer shell calculator. Yeah, I think this is just idle time. No, it's actually like the time that I've as well like spent honing my craft, or for example like looking for some new tracks. It's just not been properly differentiated. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna move on to the outro now. So as you can see, it's been probably the most productive weeks thus far within my year. Now the focus has been mostly on content creation, more specifically image editing and video editing. FYI, you won't really, at least this stage, I'll probably not see that many gimmicky things in terms of these documentations, because I'm allotting most of my resources to the other project. But yeah, that's just what's been going on in the life of myself, and I'll try to be a little bit more conscientious in terms of uploading these videos on Winged Serpent. But regardless of that, my focus right now is most definitely on, and will most definitely be on, Project Houdini, the DJing project, because I think that this is there's a lot of potential, and hopefully it will enable me to kind of get some jobs related to it, not only in terms of, for example, DJing, but also in terms of maybe social media, stuff like that, because I don't see myself riding in the next few years, cycling 600 kilometers each month, without having really any sort of higher intellectual stimulation in terms of actually acquiring skills which are translatable into something else than simply being physically fit. Of course, it's still important for me to be physically fit, and of course, it's really amazing that I have the chance to work in a company where I'm the flexible in terms of working hours, and that I also enjoy a lot of cycling. But I need to think more about the future, and whilst the pay is good for a student right now, the risks are definitely there. I've been run over once by a car, had 3 broken ribs, a little internal bleeding, and I've been basically out of anything for 4 or 5 weeks, and it's just a matter of time until in my humble opinion, it's just a matter of time until somebody once again doesn't see me, and it kind of feels also like a waste of time. If I've got a little bit of knowledge and I've got a little bit of competence in other areas, then why not trying to kind of combine this with something that pays me? Yeah, that's at least one of the main reasons why I'm doing this. And yeah, who knows how it's gonna work out? But just a little heads up for whoever's watching it, because there's not I think 1 or 2 views or stuff like that. They even only for 10 seconds or stuff like that, but doesn't matter, man. That's the grind. And as long as I reap the benefits from it, meaning that I'm actually having a sort of talk to myself, because I'm really, really only talking to myself here. In the first, let's say that not only talking to myself, of course, if there's an audience and somebody's listening to it, I'm also communicating with this person, but in the first place, it's sort of a dialogue between different parts of my psyche. That's how I kind of see it, and it's really positive. Yeah. So with that being said, I'll now get back to the work, and see you maybe next time.